Crafty. Oh, I mean,
Why is that song in my head?
who knows? Have you been listening to it today? Is it on for a radio? Ooh, tissue paper. Where's your glue back, Mum? Oh, I have a spare bit of spaghetti. You're welcome.
There we go. Hi Katie Lou. How are you doing? Hi Shaz. I'm sorting out some stencils. Good evening Susan. Do you know, I was trying to sort out stencils that weren't circles, and then Emma mentioned circles, and now look what fell out. Hi Liz.
Don't use the circles.
You mentioned the circles, so that's it now.
I told you not to use the circles.
I know, but you should not have said don't use the circles, because then it made me think of the circles. Hi Angie. Good evening everybody. Hope you're all keeping well as you can anyway. Good evening Sarah Lou. We are okay, thank you. Hope you're well too. Evening Caroline. I think was it Caroline who said last week about using the doing the mop-up page. I think it was. So that is what we're going to do. Hi Sue. Emma is doing some. What are you doing tonight, Emma?
Journaling.
Some journaling along with me. Hi Claire.
If I can keep up.
I'm sure you will. See, Sue says use the circles. There you go.
I don't think you should use the circles. I think you've used the circles in every single live.
I've only opened it on this page to give you something that's complete to look at. What we are going to be, me. Good evening, Sarah John. Was thinking last week when I did I'm just trying to get to the front to see if I've got any more pages. I always start off quite well in a journal, and it actually gets more and more poppy as I go along. Now I'm going to be adding them to the page. Will Emma be doing a journaling live, Emma? She just walked away at that point. I think that was a no. Yeah, last week I was doing the MDF tag with it was last week, wasn't it? Yeah, the rusty tag all blurs into one, does it? Hi Joe. And when I was using the gold paint, I'm going to have to stick that bit of washi tape on it. I opened up my little journal. This is the if I close it up. This is the Dylusions small flip journal. See, nice tricky one to say. So this is the smaller version. I like the flip ones, I have to admit. I like the landscape way that they're laid out. However, I have done a couple of layouts where I've turned the journal and done it that way around. So no, she has got a YouTube, but she doesn't. Oh, do you still have your YouTube?
No, I don't.
Oh no, she got rid of her YouTube because she wasn't.
I mean, I'll do a live if they want me to.
Oh, me too.
I've got a question, my mummy.
What's your question, Emma? Hi, Gail.
You know where you do for mop-ups? Do you gesso it beforehand? My arms.
I hadn't in this. It would depend. I don't tend to go around gesso in my pages in advance. So I've got in this journal. I started off really well. I was like completing pages, and then I've got to the point where obviously at this day I must have been playing with the gloss sprays. It's probably when I first got them. So I do things like no, it's not tiny, Katie Lou, is it? It's a nice size. I have to say, I know people often ask what journal would you start with, and I have to say this. I started with the one like this, but it's the other way up. I can reach it because they're all just down here. So this is the first journal that I got, which is literally this one. Well, that's that way, but that way up. And that's, see, this is the trouble though. I get so far and then I have to buy another one because I want a different shape, and then and then I end up with pages left over. But that, I think, is a really ideal one to start with if you're wanting to try out art journaling.
Mum, I've stolen some of your paint. Just
Okay.
tell you. I was gonna steal.
Hi
more.
Karen. So I'm just popping back through, just to see if I've missed anybody. I think I'm up to date. If I've missed anybody, I apologise. So sometimes when I get new products, I get my journal out and I'll just have a play with them in it so that I can. I was trying to find another empty one. So that was good. This is one where I think I've just been building and building this up, and I've just never got around to finishing it.
It looks really
So
nice.
it's got a bit of washi tape in there, so I was probably experimenting with that. I think I've got bits of book pages or something, a bit of crackled paint, and I've just
Oh my god! Wow.
and then this was when I got the Distress Oxide sprays. So I was having a little play. Actually, do you know what I think I was doing? To start with, I think I was wiping my Dinkables in there, and then I decided to have a little extra. So that's quite a nice one to be. So that's from the week before last. And then I've got this one where, again, I think that looks like the Distress Oxide. So I was mopping up. That's me. Again, I think that's Distress Oxides. And then this is the one that I was wiping off onto last week. Now, this is probably actually a lot more messy than my average mop-up. In fact, in that it's got a lot of a solid colour. So I thought it would be quite good to show how, because we all end up with these pages in our journals and things, and it's all very well mopping up your page, mopping up onto your journal, but then what do you do with them? So I thought we'd have a go. So I've got out some stencils. So I was trying to look for ones, because this has got a lot of a block colour. I was thinking the first thing I would think to do with this is that I want to possibly break up some of this solidness with a lighter colour, because it's quite dark as well where it's the gold. So I've picked out some stencils that have got quite a big pattern. You knocked the table then now.
I know. I've knocked loads of things over.
So we've got the I always get, is it the dahlia or the chrysanthemum? It's one of those. Then I've got this one is the damask. I thought the diamonds. I can't remember why. I remember why I thought the diamonds, because something. Then Emma said, "Don't use the circles," so it made me think circles. So I've got a couple of the circles, and I was thinking, oh, maybe some of the big ones. So we've got the clouds. This is a really interesting one, because this is the string of pearls, or the pearls, and it's like the opposite to a stencil. It's a mask. So the bits, the pattern is the bit that will stay the colour underneath. So that might be quite interesting. And then I've also got this one, which I'm not sure what it's called, but it's got sort of that wavy, like an optical illusion type thing going on. And then I've got one of the mandalas out, because I thought, again, if you put a lighter colour through that, that's going to give you quite a lot of coverage. So I think we'll start with more of a general pattern, and we'll just do a little bit just to see what happens to start with. So let's go with the diamonds. I'm calling it diamonds. I'm pretty sure it's not called diamonds. Hi Beatrice. Let me just check that I haven't missed anyone. Oh, I will use the pearl one as well, because it is a different sort of stencil in that it's the mask part. So let's go with, because we've got the metallic, I might actually start with a light metallic and see how that looks. And if not, then I've got the Dylusions white linen, or I've got the Dylusions vanilla custard. So I think that would be a nice light colour to put on there. But let's start with the I don't know why I'm shaking that up. It's the thickish paint. Let's put a little bit up here. And this is, what did I, it's the, I did think, Joe, what's the pears? Well, I didn't like to say. Oh, let's find a stencil brush. So I've put out the most tiniest bit of paint. That's just ridiculous. It's got a block in the top. Big block in the top. Oh. Right, let's get a pin. Get a pin and ping the top. Now this is the first time I think I've ever had that. It doesn't feel like it's blocked. I think it's maybe had an air, probably me shaking it made it have an air bubble. Right, that's a bit better, isn't it? A bit more paint. Right, so let's go with a little bit. I think on here, before I did, I was obviously put something else on this before I put the was it the penny or the gold or something, but I'm not quite sure what is in the background, to be honest. So I'm going to just, basically I'm just trying to break up some of that background. So how many of you have got journals with mop-up pages that you've just haven't done anything with? I mean, this is not, I do have a few journals.
Just a few.
just a few. And I have to admit that they've all got pages like this in where I've mopped up. Because you don't want to waste anything, do you? So that was going to nowhere. That tiny little drop of paint was never going to be enough, was it? That I'd started with. Why has that done that again?
Mum, thanks to you, I've now started gaining a collection of journals. I don't know where they all are, though, to be honest.
I think that must have a blob of paint and I've pushed it back down into it. Let's have another. I do this with my glossy accents. I'm sure I'm always popping the same bit of blob. Don't have a journal at all yet. Although, just to be honest, I mean, if you do journaling on separate pages, there's lots of different binding videos out there for putting your pages together, making your own journal as well. I've got to with lots of mop-ups. Yeah, I think it's just, you know, you don't want to waste, when you've got paint out and ink, you don't want to waste it, do you? And quite often, some of the things, especially with the stencils, when you do where you like flip it to the reverse, you actually get a really nice
on mine, I've got
impression.
Ones on flips and actual thing.
Let's go.
I'll use a heat tool, Mum.
Oh, Emma's going to use a heat tool, so you've got earphones. Well, you might be alright. You might not hear it too bad, actually. And so a bit so. There we go. That will do for the silver, I think. So that's giving it a little bit of lightness, I should say. You've just bought your first journal, nothing in it yet. Oh, you have to show us when you do something, Caroline. Do you know what? When I bought my first journal, it took probably a good couple of years before I even put anything in it. Oh, Emma, could you do me a favour? Could you just go and get me a pot of water, please? Just so I can clean brushes and stuff. Oh, can I have some of that as well?
Yes.
Thank you.
There you go.
Emma would help me put that bit lower.
I needed some and I didn't know where.
Suddenly realised I haven't got any water. Okay, so that's that one. Now this is the string. I don't know if it's pearls or string of pearls. So I thought just a little bit of this, because obviously this has got a lot of open space. But what you will get is the coloured bits are going to be kept coloured by the bits that are masked off. So actually I think I'm going to go with the vanilla custard. Hi Maxine! Now the Dylusions ones are more fluid than the Dina Wakeley. Thank you, Emma. I won't put it next to the computer. That could be a problem. So they have a little mixing bowl in these pots. Oh, hi Sam.
Oh, they do.
Oh yes, Claire. is addictive, I have to say. Yeah, so yeah, it was about 2 years before I got up the courage to actually start using my journal, and now I have just got so many string of pearls. I knew it was one or the other. There we go. So, ooh. Yeah, so in these little, the new bottles, you do have a little mixing bowl in there. So let's do a bit of pearls. So let's, obviously, because this is more fluid, I'm going to try and get a little bit more of the paint off of there.
Use my heater again.
And let's do, I'm not sure, this might not be bright enough, this colour. I might need to, I think I need a brighter colour. See, now, the trouble is, now I'm looking at that paint thinking, I need to put that in a journal.
Do you want to put it in mine?
You can put it in there, Emma, if you'd like.
How
because
am I
I
supposed
think,
to do that, Mum?
I don't know. I think that definitely needs a bit more of, I mean, I think I can't, the trouble is it dries so quick. I'm going to need something a bit brighter, I think, to, hi Rosie! So let's go with the white. And I'm going to get a new, new brush. Ooh. My white one always seems to plop out like that. I don't like that brush. I want a thicker, bigger, chunkier one. I keep knocking my light, so I apologise if the light goes funny. Alright, so let's try it with a bit of white.
Where do you keep your... Oh, there you keep them. That's not even a food.
Let's see. Let's just do a little bit. I think this is a bit too fluid for this.
Or I've already tried.
Yes, that one, Emma. I think I need to get a bit of that paint off because, as I said, the Dylusions is a much more fluid paint than the Dina Wakley. So when you do use it, you don't want too much, especially where the lines of this stencil are really, really fine. So if you have too much on your brush, or probably like me, you're not sticking it down, which is not really the best thing to be doing, to not stick it down. I don't see, I can see that when I turn to a certain light. So if I go, let's try and see if I can get, you can see where the circles are in there, because it's got the shininess under it. So, oh, there, probably if I do it like that, then you can see where the mask has gone on there. I have to say, I don't think this is going to be the best one to use, so I might switch to, I'm going to switch to this one. Now this is one of my oldest stencils I think I have from Be Crafty. I had to get my priorities. Food and then washed up. Hi Kim. Oh, hi Bev. Didn't see you there. So I think I'm going to do this one. Let's see, because I think this has got, I think I need something with a bit of a chunkier pattern. Openings. What's the word? But that's what journaling's all about, is you do something and sometimes you go, oops, no, I shouldn't have done that. I don't want it like that. I need this. But actually this will go quite nicely with that back because it's sort of got that gilded, is it coated a bit and then leave it? Yeah, Claire, I will do a couple of layers sometimes and then it might be left for ages before I come back to it and go, oh, now, and sometimes it's because you just don't have the time. Sometimes it's because you think, I really don't know what that needs, and it takes moving away from it to actually...
Are these stencil brushes, Mum?
Yes, they are. But, you know, sometimes you need to walk away before you can actually know what it is you want to do with it. Let's give it a bit more white there. at the end of the day, I mean, it's your journal. And you don't have to show it to anybody. Oh, that's nice and subtle. But this is what I mean, but just lightening up that background and just taking some of that gold away a bit because it was quite intense. And sometimes, hi Jackie, sometimes your first layers, you might not be overly keen on them, but that doesn't matter because at the end of the day, that's the whole point. It's your layers. So the chances are you're going to cover up
most of it.
quite a lot of it, which sometimes, in a way, sometimes it's better to not overly love your layers because then you're more like, oh, I don't want to cover that up. But, you know, the whole point of the layers is, and I have to say, when I first ever saw people doing art journaling and mixed media, I did think, why are they putting that down and they're just going to cover it all up with something else? But it's all about just the process, playing, and also sometimes it just having a little bit of something that you might just about see peeking through really does sort of add something to the end project, even though you might not see very much of it. I mean, obviously, if you're talking about using expensive embellishments, then I might get a little bit more, think about especially where I put that really expensive embellishment. Oh no, you mentioned the G word. Who said the G word? Was it me? Or are we talking about somebody else?
G word?
Yeah, did I say G word?
What's a G word?
I don't know. Whoops. Moved. Oh, well done, Rosie. Oh, I saw your lovely tropical journal page, Rosie. That was really nice. Was it a journal page or was it like on a canvas? Oh, I can't remember. I think it was a journal page, wasn't it? Have a little bit up there and let's have a little bit down there.
I need another colour.
Have we got... Oh, I just got that. It just took me a little while with the damask. It was me covering it.
I need another colour, Mama. I don't know what
There, I think that's enough of that one.
We're going to take that one.
Oh, Emma's just stealing some paints.
I'm going to take all of it. Oh, no.
Right. Do we want more stencil? I think now we've lightened it. Let's just darken it up again. All right, I am going to just give it a quick blast just to make sure that the layers are dry. It was a journal. I thought it was a journal page, Rosie. I don't know if you can hear me when the heat tool's on. It is on the lower one.
Mine's looking a mess.
Oh, God. Oh, the G word. God, I'm really slow tonight.
What's
Gold!
Oh.
Yeah, Claire, I do it all the time, always leaving them and coming back. Sometimes it's the only thing you can do. Now, oh, Emma, have you stolen my circle? Oh, no, it's all right. Phew, she hasn't touched. I'm sorry, you haven't touched my circles. Now, yeah, I am going to go for the circles because what I want is something a bit smaller. But, oh, that's good, you can still hear me. But that I can do in little patches. So I'm going to go now. In the background is this colour, and do you know what? I really don't know. And I don't think it's gloss spray, but that's like the gloss spray colour, isn't it? It's sort of like it's like an olivey green, and that's like a reddy colour. But I'm just looking to see if I've got something similar in front of me, and no, I haven't. But I have got gloss sprays. So I have got. See, I think that looks like it could have been that, but then I don't know what that one is, unless it's like eggplant. No, it's not eggplant, is it? I'll go with the olivey green. Let's try some gloss spray and see how that goes. What was the song I was thinking of before we came? Oh, Wrecking Ball. Yeah. I don't think I'd even heard that song, and it was in my head. Now everybody would be thinking that one now, see?
You got it out. I got it out of my head now.
Oh. Now I could put some. I'm just thinking in a pot to put through. I'm just wondering whether to spritz it out and stencil it through rather than spray it, or just I might just spray it. Right, so the gloss sprays, for anyone who hasn't seen them before, they are an acrylic paint that are very, very, very fluid. So the Dylusions paint is fluid. These are even more. So they're more of an acrylic ink sort of consistency. And they do need a good shake because it does separate out the parts of the paint and the carrier. And it is important to always make sure that you do keep your lids and to clean your nozzles. So I'm going to do. Oh, for goodness sakes, because I'm trying to. Why is that not working? I checked these all. Oh, the other day I did these all the other day, and they were all working. Oh my goodness! I would pick that one. So I am going to actually take that and take a small brush. So there's always a way.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Where there's a will, there's a way. And do. That's so annoying because I went through every single one and made sure that they were all clean and they were all spraying, and they were. So a little bit of that there. Have a bit of it here. I'm going to go down over that white just to give another layer. Now what I'm thinking I could do, possibly, I don't know if that will be wet enough actually, but I could turn it that way. Yeah, because I went through them all, and I even used a little bit of alcohol on them as well. Oh, I quite like that, how that's done that. So actually what I might do, oh, here's an idea, just paint my spray onto here and do it that way. Yes. Oh, I like that. Or you could do it, rub it through like that as well. Oh, I do like that. Let's have a bit actually straight through here, just so that it matches. Went a bit over the top there. Should have kept him stippling there. Right, that's that. So I think that's as much stenciling. I am going to need to dry it because that's quite wet there. But I mean, these do dry really quickly, but actually what I could do is, where that went a bit too much, just give that a yes, sort of Tudor, yeah, where it's got like the gilding, and then they had sort of like gilded paper and things, didn't they? So it is a bit of a vintage look. It might not go with what I was thinking it was going to go with. Let's pop all those in the water, and I might just give that a quick spritz, just to give that a little clean up, just so that I don't put my hands in it. The main reason why I do try and clean up as I go is not so much because I'm worried about the mess. It is literally because I know I will put an arm in it. There we go. That's that done. I'm sorry if I'm not keeping up with any comments. I'm sort of seeing some. Oh. Oh. Right, so that's my stenciling layers. I might just quickly give it a little blast again just to make sure. And then what I have done is I've got out some background stamps. And I've chosen, I was inspired by Bev on Tuesday when she was using some of the end of line stamps. So I'm hoping that I've chosen stamps that are still in stock in the end of line. But if I haven't, I apologise. I did try to make sure. So I just picked out some. So we've got the sound waves. I think some of them might be out. So one of the journaling borders. And I'm going to put it in the end of line. The Roman numerals. And my other one, I'm sad. My mini distress diamonds. That is sad. Can we see how Emma is coming on?
I don't think we should.
Oh, Emma's not keen on that idea apparently.
It's not great, Mum. It's a bit of a mess.
Oh, I like that.
I
It's very bright. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, that's why I put the gold on it to try and...
There we go. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So, gone quite neon.
I was trying...
With a bit of gold.
I can't see how neon it is because I've got no lights on over it.
Well, why don't you put that light on?
Because I've got my heat tool plugged in.
Well, oh, yeah. And then you have to unplug the other light, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I've got the franking marks and the other textures, the dots. I think the distress diamonds because it's part of that texture set, and then I've got the drafts and the retro dots and dashes. I've got two on one little square there. So now I'm seeing this background. I am thinking that the big diamonds, the mini diamonds, and the Roman numerals are possibly going to be the ones, because I didn't know which way the journal page was going to go. They say it looks brilliant, Emma, and nice and vibrant. I like it. I think I like the neons. So right, so those are the stamps I'm going to use. I'm definitely going to have some black. And when I'm thinking about background stamping and my colours, I tend to look at what's on here already. Rosie, I'll show it when she's finished it at the end again. Rosie couldn't see it. So we've got a bit of this sort of greeny colour, so I'm thinking, and I'm going to go archivals. So let's get our archivals. So I haven't got an olivey green, but I have got the peeled paint, which I do really like. And we've got that plum sort of colour coming through. Still don't know what that, so I'm thinking either vermilion or plum. I'm thinking maybe plum because they're quite sort of, I'm thinking they're quite vintagey colours. And then I will have some black because I always like to have a bit of black coming through.
Do you have any other things? Because I don't want to use them.
There's loads of pots in there, and with loads of bits, and I probably won't be going with them now because I'm thinking they're going to be too doodly and
Where
not
are
go
they?
with the style. If you go to the back and to the right, there's some pots there.
Oh wow.
Hey, people get the Roman. Oh no, but if you all order the Roman numerals and they go out of stock, I won't be able to use them. Right, so let's start with. I'm just trying to think which one is going to be my one that's going to be black. I'm thinking the Roman numerals. So let's go with. I tend to go. This is just how my brain goes with stamping. Is that I tend to go with the lighter colour with my bigger stamps. Don't ask me why. I think it's because then the smaller, just because you don't want too much of that really dark in the bigger size. So I tend to go with the bigger ones. I'll go with the lighter colour, and then I'll get darker as I go. Though I'm going to go with the Roman numerals. So let's do some of this, and this is archival ink, but it's one of the distress colourways, so it's the peeled paint, which I think sort of goes with the theme, doesn't it, of the wallpapery sort of vintage. Thank you, Rosie. Oop. Now it's going on to glossy and acrylic paint. Oh. I was just putting the ink on with the lid on them. I just think that feels a bit funny. Oh, dearie me. It's not, I can't even say it's been a long day, although it's a long day. They are long days, aren't they, sometimes? But, oh dear. So, you're not going to get a perfectly perfect impression. But again, it's the background, so, you know. But I do find the more you add, sometimes if you haven't used it, this is what I personally find, if you haven't used a stamp for a little while and then you come back to it, sometimes the first impression isn't always the best, and that it actually takes a few layers of the ink to actually, the ink sort of forms a primer in a way for the rest of the ink. So if you see, like from the first one to the second one to the third one, it's like gets better and better. And that's why, I mean, with the archivals, I never worry about cleaning it off with a special cleaner or anything, because it's forming a sort of like a key. Yeah. We ought to get a bloopers reel going, don't we? A bloopers reel, the lives. And again, so this is on the opposite page. This page, once you start filling your journal up, this is always going to be the trickier page. So I have said this to people before, but just to, in case you have never heard me say it, what I sometimes do is I get a block and I'll put the block underneath where I'm stamping to give me a firm basis. Or if you really are not happy with how it's going to come out and you've got a more detailed image, then you can stamp onto tissue and then collage it on, and that's a good way of getting around like the texture and texturiness of it. Well, that's all right. Jackie's probably been called followers by me. What? I think Jackie typed in it must have changed it, or because they called you Abby. Oh no, because Bev's daughter's Abby, isn't it? Oh, they get called everything. They get called the cat's name, each other's names on a regular basis. If you see what I mean, like it's getting like dark, like more and more solid image as the stamping is being done. Or the other thing you can do is if you put your hand under and sort of squeeze it from the bottom.
I definitely did not just drop a load of stuff over the floor.
Then that can help as well. So that's the big, now I can't find the lid, there it is. The big diamonds, which is the Distress Diamonds. And then this one is sort of like a miniaturized version, but more of them. So sometimes it's nice within your backgrounds to sort of like have that repetition, but in a different size. Now that's not going to fit on that one, is it? No. So let's find a different size. Slim. Let's go for this one. The only reason mine have got a bit of washi tape on is so I don't lose them. And then I do tend to stick my stamp to the opposite side, just so that I don't, if I need to clean my block, I hopefully don't have to clean my bit where the washi tape is. If you find this one is sticking, but if you find, because even if you look at the back of mine, I don't know if you can see, it's a bit sparkly with glittery stuff, and there's paint and all sorts of mine, but it's still sticking. But if it's not, if you just give it a wash with soapy water and then just let it dry naturally, that will clean it off. So we'll go with the plum for the next one. Actually, I might need you to go and find that box, Emma, in there that had all the the vintagey style bits that I'd cut
these
out.
Ones?
Oh, have you got them?
Yeah, but I've just used them.
Oh, I like how that's just done parts of that. So again, it's just that vintage
It was in this
stressed
square
look.
box,
So I'm not
Mum.
worrying about sort of inking it up wholly.
It's in the square box, so I don't know if those are the ones you mean.
Do you know, actually, I'm going to take that off the block. I think this one needs doing more like this. There, that's it. So sometimes it actually is better to leave it off the block if you're not worried about getting a perfect impression, but you want a deeper colour. And sometimes taking it off the block is. And I tend to head for the middle of the stamp, just because then you don't tend to get those sort of straight edges. You get more of a sort of a distressed edge, which looks a bit more natural. Just to check.
May I ask what that is?
Oh, is it a mask?
I don't know.
I think it's a mask that I've made and then just put in there.
Okay.
So let's go up here. And I do a lot where I'm stamping off the edges to give it that sort of more natural look as well. I will go second generation with that one, just because I can. I often forget to do that, just to use the second generation.
Pop them here for you, Mum.
And it's across like that. I think that's enough of that one. So I'm just building and building and building, really. That's my favourite thing to do, really, I think. Now, the Roman numerals. Now, do we want, I'm thinking whether I want to put it on a block. Now, the long journaling block, the long thin one, is perfectly sized for this. Now, when you get a longer stamp, obviously it's easier to get them a bit wonky, but so if you want them straight, so hairs, then what I tend to do is I put it face down onto my mat. If I've got my cutting guides on the mat, then I use that to help line up, and then I attach it to my block so that I get it straighter. I mean, if you're not worried, obviously, then it doesn't matter. And sometimes the whole point is you want to make it. Oh God, that lid on that is got, I'm sure it's getting tighter. Oops, let's start this side. If you've got things like stems or borders, you might want them to curl around, and then that's actually a good thing. There is a page, I've just remembered there is a page under here that's got a lot of stuff stuck on it. But let's do there. So a bit of that there. And I always end up doing some kind of black stamping. Another person ordered the Roman numerals. Good. They are a bit nice, aren't they? I do love the Roman numerals. There we go. Let's do a little bit there. And actually, see, the thing is, you get so much more ink off of them than you think you're going to, don't you? When you're stamping. I said my black archival I have recently re-inked. It's my only ink pad I actually re-ink. To be fair, I don't think I've needed to re-ink any others. But because I use the black all the time, literally, it does need inking up more. I haven't checked the comments, sorry. Hope I haven't missed anything. What I will do is I will go back through, and I always tend to go back through afterwards and check just in case there's any questions that I've missed. There, let's do a little bit in the middle. And I just tend to go around adding little bits. There we go. Actually, what I am going to do before I finish with that ink pad, I am going to just, and I do this all the time because I just do like a dark edge, and this is just my quickest way of doing it, is I just scrape that, because I don't generally want it to be really dark, but I just want a little tiny sort of border. Sometimes I do sort of scrape in a bit and give it a bit more. Or you could get something like, get a blending tool. You can use blending tools with your archival, but I do find it's a bit harder to do because obviously archival dries a lot quicker, so it's harder to blend. But sometimes I do get a foam, what do you call it? Foam blending tool, and just go around with it just to add a little bit around the edges. Let's move that out of the way slightly. Now, Emma did fling them over here for me. So this is my, I think people have seen this so much now. But I'll show you what I did cut out. So this just shows you how this is journaling and how it goes totally different from what you thought it might be going to do. Because when I was thinking about this, I thought it'll probably be quite bright, even though it had a lot of gold. I don't know why I thought it might go quite bright, but I even made a really colourful rainbow butterfly. Well, having said that, that might look all right now. But I did go really doodly and thought that might be nice. But now I'm thinking it's probably more of a vintage page, and I probably would. But I've done this before. I have to use the side of the ink pad so I can't stand some knots make when inking edges. Have I finished all my tape? No, I haven't. I haven't made any more Calypso coffees though, I have to admit. But we could get some cream next week, couldn't we?
Yes.
Emma's been drinking all the Americanos.
I've had one.
Should I go for a vintagey toppers or doodly toppers? I could colour. Oh, actually, I'm just thinking that looks quite nice just in black and white. What do you think? Vintage or doodly? I'll get you some doodly things out, some vintagey things out. That's more vintagey. That's me vintagey. That's me doodly. Some more vintagey things. Got all sorts in here. I've got more different things in here. I've got some cogs. Oh, cogs, can I just say? Cogs, end of line. What did I have here? We're here in vintage. Vintage, vintage, vintage. We'll go vintage then. We'll do doodly another time, because I did start cutting them all out. Let's go vintage. I'm going to do my, yeah, I did like the black and white. How's Emma getting on with homeschool? How are you getting on with homeschool, Emma?
Okay.
She's not doing too bad, actually.
I'm doing better than last year.
Yeah, I have to say the schools have, I think, certainly where we live, upped their game a lot this time round. Oh, look, I've got a little tiny cog, not a little tiny cog, a little tiny light bulb. I want another little tiny light bulb. I think I have to say I will stick with the black and white. Have I got the pocket watch? I've got the pocket watch stamp, yes. That's in the end of line as well, isn't it? I did have a go nosy. I did nosy around the end of line. To be honest, I think I've got nearly everything. I don't think I'm going to have any crowns, but we have got another bit of that. I've got the big, I think I've got some bigger bees in here. I think I'm going to stick with the black and white and just build up a bit of a little sort of, what do you call it? Not a montage. We could have a bigger bee one end and a smaller bee that end. Gosh, what's shoved in here? Ah, found another little light bulb. Obviously got a bit carried away cutting out light bulbs. That's the same as those ones, isn't it? So we don't need, I think we'll have one bee one end, one bee the other. I might do a sort of like what do I call it? So sort of the same but different. You know what I mean? So let's build up. I want to say montage, not a montage. It's like a, what am I trying to think of? There's one school I know of here. Awful with the homeschool not up. Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? I think Alfie, who's my 9-year-old, they've been very lucky. He's got a very young teacher who only came out of college this year, bless her. And she is on it with the Zoom and the Google Classroom. She's been fantastic. I can't fault her.
Most of my teachers don't even know how to use the technology. It's quite funny.
I'm thinking I might want one that's a bit more. Let's go. We might go like that and cut that off a bit. Now this is now what would take me the longest time. Collage. Thank you, Caroline. Montage. Just had in my head montage, and that was it. That weren't going anywhere, that word. A collage. That's the word. Oh, it's the first scissors I've got, so I'm going to go with the massive ones. Yeah, so he's got a teacher who's very young and very good with all her Zoom and everything else. So they get multiple Zooms a day, and she's been very, very good. They get sort of like the work marked online and sent back with comments and things like that. So they yeah. And Emma's have got a bit more with it this time with the Teams and the everything else. Although I think it's struggling with the pressure of people using it. So let's go. So just thinking one. So I tend to go one end and then probably to sentiment the other, but I'm liking the idea of having sort of like a smaller cluster there and a bigger one over here. Although then I don't know whether I want my smaller bee actually to be this end and my bigger bee to be this end, and then we'll have that up there as well. Trouble is now I've got to stick this all on, and then we haven't got a paintbrush down here, have we? So let's have a paintbrush. Let's have a little, this is the fun bit, this is the bit I really like, is just if you get all your bits cut out in advance, and then you can just really sort of play with making a little collage. Now I need another bit of honeycomb. I'm going to have to go through and cut a load more out, aren't I? There we go, a little bit of honeycomb. Has everybody else got rain? We've got lots of rain, I can hear it. Somehow. Oh. Now I could stick this all down now, or I could go on and find a sentiment and stick it down afterwards. What would you prefer me to do? I'm going to put those in there. Just think it's coming up for well, it's not quite 9 o'clock yet though, is it actually? Let's pop those in there. Let's start to stick some down. Let's find my glue. I'm going for my pin flare, I think. Is it pin flare? Glue gel. I said glue gel. I'm never quite sure. So let's, oh, this is the only trouble. This is the point at which I'd probably take a photograph
I
And
should
then-
have taken a photograph.
and then
of one.
keep it. Oh, thank you, Rose. Do you know what he was doing yesterday, Rosie? Jelly printing. And then today he said to me, can we do something else tomorrow? He said, no, I've done that book thing. And I've done with the printing. Can I do something else? I'm sure we can find something. Then this evening he said, can I have one of them things, you meaning my die cutting machine? Can I have one of those? I said, not really. You can just use mine. Been pouring with rain. Yeah, we've got a flood warning. We live on a bit of a hill, so, but where we live is the coast, so it does flood down the bottom. The roundabout often gets flooded when it's a high tide, but luckily we're okay. I don't know how I had this now. I am going to get out. What I do like is to sometimes lift your main elements, and I had to order some black thread because I'd run out. So I've got some black thread to go underneath my bee. So I like to try and cover some of these sort of more cut edges. And they can sometimes look a little bit harsh. Should we go there? I can't remember if it was there. That's where it's going now. Let's do a bit on there. And this is why your journals then end up being all difficult to close. Oh, I can't remember where that was. I'm going to put that there now. And you're only across the water from us, aren't you? I think that one was there. And I'm going to go that one there. I do tend to try and stick with odd numbers because they are more pleasing to the eye. Now let's go for a bit of thread. 1,000 feet up. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. The last house I lived in was on a hill as well. Maybe I naturally gravitate towards hills. And I'm going to put that there. I'll put a little blob down there. A lot of Worcester is flooded already. Oh. Engage as much as I think. Oh, that's sad, Jackie. Yeah, that's the only trouble, isn't it? I think that's why this time feels a bit harder in some ways. It's because at least last year it was sunny, wasn't it? So you could, you felt a bit more like you could do other things. But now it's just we did try and go out for a walk today. We've got a little copse just behind our house, and we were going to have a walk through there and then down to the park, and it was just so muddy. Hi, Jill. Oh, don't worry. It's always kept on. You can always watch back on the videos section on the page. They're kept on there. And I think it usually gets shared to the Be Crafty Stamps group as well. So they're always available. And let's go there. I when I did my cutting out the film strips, I was sort of trying to cut them out in as many different ways as I could, as well as doing them on the acetate, which I love doing them on the acetate because it then really does look like sort of a proper film reel. And if you stamp, you can sort of line up, stamp a whole really long line of them, which is good fun. And I'm going to leave that because I'm not sure where I want that bit to be. Oh, I just found that one. Oh no, it's just what I just had. Oh. And let's go for here.
I feel like it needs something on that side.
And let's have another paintbrush. Now some of these paintbrushes are part of the big collage with the dragonfly, and some of them are separate stamps, but there's one, I think it is this one, that's actually within the collage. So what I do is the same as the small tape measure. That's not an individual stamp. That's part of one of the bigger collages. Can't remember which one. It's probably leisure measure. I can't say that, or something like that. And so I look at those and sort of get some of the little bits out of them, sort of stamp them out and cut out some of the smaller parts as well. It's always good fun. Let's put that. Oops, there. I missed it. What do you use on the film for stamping? I use heat resistant acetate, and then I stamp with VersaFine Clair black. Thank you, Jack. I did it again. Thank you, Jenny. I stamp with VersaFine Clair black, and then I also put black embossing powder over the top, because what I have found is if you stamp with a normal clear Versamark and then do the black embossing powder, it sort of goes quite a dull, sort of almost a grey. So I find if you stamp with the black VersaFine Clair and then put black powder over it, makes it really, really black. This stamping, the embossing, that's how I do it. You could stamp with black StazOn as well. I don't tend to use StazOn. I have got some StazOn ink pads still, which I use on things like shrink plastic more. But I do tend to if I'm going on to acetate, I do like to use embossing powder. So I've taken to, I just only ever buy now heat resistant acetate, just so that I don't get confused, so I know that they all will work. Right, so look on the picture. I might move that desk down a little bit, just on top of that a little bit more. So there we go. So there's my little collages, and I just need a sentiment. If everybody's still okay, I will quickly just do a sentiment when I can find them. They are right next to me. But there's a lot of stamps here. Right. Oh, there they go. There's my ticker tapes. All my ticker tapes together. Oh, look. Bye, Rosie. Right, let's see. What do we want? Don't look backwards, it's not where you're going. That's a nice one. I like that. Let's find it. There it is. I bet I use the same ones all the time, but I can never remember which one I use. Any tips on how not to smudge the ink on the acetate? Oh, because I tend to emboss it. What do you mean when you stamp down and it slides? I always use an anti-static bag. I don't know if that helps with the not slipping, but it certainly helps with fingerprints. And I do make sure that I just go straight down, hold, and up, and try not to. I do have it where it slips and it smudges it, but I think that's just a part of stamping on acetate, isn't it? Thank you. Right, very quickly, where's some card? Just to quickly do, oops, over out there. Now, I probably would actually like white embossing on black card.
Yeah, I didn't have enough though.
But I'm going to do it onto white just for the quickness. And there we go. My nice pile of stamps over there just building up. I put the big scissors away, now I need them again. Alright, and just a quick snip, snip. I think the other thing you could possibly do, I know people do with shrink plastic, they sand it, don't they? But to be honest, I don't know, because with that it might make it go sort of cloudy. Thank you, Maxine. Right, so let's put that there, maybe that there. Oh, actually, I'm going to put, because there's less on that side, I'm probably going to put 2 of them here. So don't look backwards. It's not where you are going, or up there are going. Yeah, I think. Run out of glue on that one. Good job I filled all these up beforehand, wasn't it? Right, so don't look backwards. It's not where you are going. There we go. Let's put that back up there. Let's move those out of the way. Wouldn't have thought black and white. I have to say, I seem to be doing that a lot more lately, Katie Lou, where I do a colourful background and stick just with the black and white on the main images. I think it just, sometimes it's all you need, isn't it? And I think with the vintagey more style, it just sort of, it goes with it. So there's my vintagey pages, and now Emma's gone bright, but lots of black and white again. Very nice, like it. So she's gone again, so you can see if you've got a really bright background, black and white again is like really stands out nicely. Very nice, Emma, well done. Oh, Rosie went, so Rosie probably didn't see again.
You can post a photo.
Yeah, I can.
Or I can. I don't know.
So thank you very much. I hope any of you have got some mop-up backgrounds in your journals. We'll get them out, fill them up. I'm going to go through some of my journals and start trying to produce some pages on my mop-up backgrounds. I'm definitely going to. So thank you very much. I will go back through and hopefully I haven't missed too much in the comments, but if I have missed any questions, I'll go back and answer them for you. Thank you very much. Have a lovely rest of the evening. So I'm just going to leave that over there. And take care. And it will be Chit Chat Friday tomorrow with Sam. I'm sure she'll put up a post about half an hour before. And I was going to say something else and it's just gone. Oh, and I'll put a photo of my journal page and I'll put a photo of Emma's journal page in the Be Crafty Stamps group. And don't forget, go and have a look at the end of line stamps, because I think somebody said there's possibly not many of the Roman numerals left if you were interested in them. And there's lots of really good stuff on there, especially the backgrounds. So thank you very much and see you next time.